Hi everyone, Miss Burke here again. So I'm making this video just in case Blackboard doesn't work again. So if it does work and we have digital class and synchronous, whatever they want to call that, then this is just a backup, but I'm ready. So first I'm going to go over what you're supposed to be doing this week. And then I am going to get into the lesson. So make sure you have possibly your planner if you want to take notes on what needs to be done, and your notes either in another tab or paper pencil that you printed them off so that you can fill them in as I go through the presentation. Pause this video if you need to go get that. Welcome back. All right, so let's get started. Here's your planner for this week. You have 2 assignments in Khan Academy. These should be assigned to you, so if you go to the assignments section on Khan Academy, you should be able to get to these and know which ones to do. So you have 1 video and 1 practice assignment. We're supposed to have class. We'll see if that happens or not. Here are the notes that you need. I'm going to walk through what those are in a minute, but again, I'm continuing the overview of what needs to be done this week. So make sure you've completed your pre-work, have those notes ready, because that's what we're doing next. After class today, you need to either complete page 24 in your packet or use this Google form to do it. Now, there are 2 ways to do this because we made 2 ways. First of all, if you get the packet, use the packet. But the packet doesn't give you the answers. So what you can do is then enter your answers into the Google form and figure out if you're right or not. I even added some feedback. So if you are wrong, there's going to be some notes from me saying, hey, here's what you may have done wrong. Because you know I'm really good at reading minds like that, right? Yeah, I know. So choose either option. Now, FCPS is spending something like $4 million or something mailing these packets home. So if you're concerned about the environment and about the money that the school system's spending, please consider opting out. There is a link down here for you to do that. If you do not want to receive mailed packets, you can click that link and unsubscribe. We will always offer a digital option of that packet work for math. So that Google form is your way to do that. And again, it will check your answers for you. If you have questions, then you should bring those questions to office hours with me on Tuesday and Thursday from 10 to 11 a.m. You can find the link to office hours in Google Classroom. All right, you have a worksheet to do. Just a straight up basic worksheet. If you don't have a printer, you could always solve it on notebook paper. And the answers are at the end for you to check. Again, if you have questions, bring them to office hours. Again, this is all post-class as well. Then you have 2 more little assignments. So you have a multiple events puzzle, which is assigned to you in Google Classroom. That will be posting after you're supposed to do this video. So it's not there yet, but it will post after your scheduled class time this week. And then you have an exit ticket with 5 questions that you need to do. So this is all work to be done after class. Now, once you've completed everything in this planner, you need to insert a check mark or write done, answer this last question, and submit this planner in Google Classroom. That's right, I need the planner, not your notes. I trust you to take the notes. I want to see the planner because I want to see that you've done everything on that list. That way, if I go in there and I can't find your work, I'm like, well, they said they were done. So let me reach out to them and see if they're still working on that or not. Okay? So now it is time to get into class and get ready to take some notes. So at this point, make sure you have that tab open or you have them printed and you're writing them. So make sure you have your paper and possibly your pencil, your computer. Pause if you need to get anything. Okay, let's get started. All right, our essential question today is, what is the difference between independent and dependent events? All right, so it says use the Blackboard Collaborate session to define the following terms. This is my session in the event that we don't have Blackboard Collaborate tomorrow or Wednesday. Today's Monday. Okay, independent events are where one outcome doesn't affect the next one. So an example could be, like if you flip a coin and spin a spinner. Flipping the coin does not affect what the spinner is going to spin. Not at all. Even flipping a coin 2 times in a row, the first coin flip has nothing to do with the second coin flip. They're independent events. Dependent events is where the outcome of one event impacts the following event. So for example, you'll always see it. This is without replacement. This is the key word. These are the key words you will see in word problems. Without replacement means they didn't put it back. It may not always have these keywords too. You have to really focus in on what it's saying. So you have to look at that word problem and think about the situation. So for example, if they're giving out awards and someone can't get the same award, get 2 awards. Well, that means once someone gets an award, you have to take them out of the pile. Okay? Then when another person gets an award, since they can't get 2, that's 1 less person that can get an award. Whereas if people could get more than 1 award, it doesn't change. It's independent. But if you have to eliminate someone because they can't get it again, then that's dependent. So you've really got to stop and think about that situation before you assess whether it's independent or dependent. Remember, you're getting older. Your questions require more thinking, not just looking for keywords like you're in elementary school. Okay, so suppose you roll a die and then toss a coin. Explain why these events are independent. Pause this video and take a second to see if you can do this on your own. All right, hopefully you wrote something like the roll or outcome of the die. Remember, that's the singular of dice. Dice is plural. The roll or outcome of the die doesn't affect what the coin will land on. All right, so let's insert a Google drawing to describe the sample space. So when rolling a die and then tossing a coin, so I'm going to insert drawing, new. All right, so I'm just going to scribble here. So I'm going to use the scribble feature. So if I have a number die, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now if I roll a 1, the possibilities for my coin are heads or tails. Probability if I roll a 2 for the coin is still heads or tails. Probability for the coin if I roll a 3 is still heads or tails. This is a tree diagram. These should have been in your notes last week. Nothing's changing. Oops, it's a bit big. Struggling. All right, got it done. So notice I had 6 options for my die and 2 options, heads or tails. So using my fundamental counting principle, 6 outcomes times 2 outcomes means I have a total of 12 different items in my sample space. Which if I count up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Ta-da! Now if I click Save and Close, voila, it's in my notes. How amazing is that, guys? So how many outcomes are there for rolling the die? We're going to summarize it again. 6. How many outcomes for tossing the coin? 2. How many outcomes are there in the sample space? You can use the fundamental counting principle and multiply 6 times 2, or you could have just counted up the last column to get 12. How can you find the number of outcomes in the sample space without counting? you can multiply the number of outcomes for each event, which was 6 times 2. 6 represented options for the dice roll, and 2 were the options for the coin flip. Okay. So use the table above to find the probabilities for this sample space. So thinking back to up here, we didn't make a table, I made a tree diagram. Okay. Probability of rolling a 3. So if I were to look up here, remember we had 12 total outcomes. The probability of rolling a 3 happened 2 out of 12 times, or you could view it 1 out of 6, which is the same thing. So probability of rolling a 3 is 1/6 still. Probability of getting heads, we should all know that's 1/2. Probability of getting tails, still 1/2. Probability of rolling it even, that's half the numbers on the die, so that's 1/2. Now let's look at this set right here. So what's the probability of rolling a 3 and getting tails? So let's look, we have 1/6 and 1/2. Well, let's look back to our chart. We wanted a 3 and tails. So if I get a 3 and tails, there's one option out of 12 that has 3 and tails coming together. So I know that's 1 out of 12 based on my chart. How else could I get 1/12? 6 and 2. How do I get 6 and 2 to turn into 12? I multiply them. You can multiply the fractions for each event together to get the compound probability. That's what we're all talking about today, folks. Probability. So 1/2 times 1/6 gives me that 1/12. Let's look over here. Probability of getting heads and rolling it even. Let's see. So heads and even, that's 1. Heads and even, that's 2. Heads and even, that's 3. So that's 3 out of 12. That's not right. Probability of getting heads and rolling it even. Oh yeah, that's right. So that's 3 out of 12, which would simplify into 1/4. How do I get 1/4? 1/2 times 1/2 gives me 1/4. Ding, ding, ding. So let me summarize, because I know I talk fast and I'm not the best at making these videos. I'm doing my best, guys. I know you guys are too. All right, so to find the compound probability, I have to multiply, always. All right, we'll talk about situations where you add later, next week, not today. So I find the probability of the first event happening, then I find the probability of the second event, and then I multiply those two fractions. Remember, when you multiply fractions, you do numerator times numerator, and denominator times denominator. So 1 times 1 is 1, and 2 times 6 is 12. So, oh, I put this in the wrong spot. I put this in the white box. There we go. All right, so same thing here. Multiply the two fractions to get your resulting compound probability. Okay, so next problem. A fast food restaurant offers 5 sandwiches: ham, cheese, tomato, peanut butter jelly, or egg salad, and 3 sides: fries, chips, or a salad. How many different meals of a sandwich and 1 side can you order? Let's see, there's 5 different sandwiches and 3 sides. Using my fundamental counting principle, what can I do with these two numbers? If you said multiply them, then you're correct. 5 times 3 gives me 15. So there's 15 different combinations I could order of a sandwich and a side. So this is just explaining again, we can multiply the number of options for each event to determine our sample space. All right, now try this. These are ones I want you to try on your own. So I'm going to pause the video, or I want you to pause the video so you can try these. And when you're ready, there will be a link to the annotated version of these notes down here. I don't have it in there yet. My bad. I'll put the answers in here. So pause the video, do the work, and unpause it. Welcome back. Sorry for me going back and forth. Again, I'm recording and rolling with these. So here's your answers. Number 1 was independent because the marble doesn't affect the jack that you're trying to draw. Number 2 is independent because what you roll the first time doesn't affect what you roll the second time. Number 3 is dependent. You see those key words, without replacement. The fourth one's a little bit weird, but it's dependent because scoring a goal kind of determines whether you win or not. All right, so this is referring back to the one we used on the Google Draw up here, this. So probably if even and tails, that's 1/2 times 1/2, which gives me 1/4. Probably of heads is just 1/2. Probably of tails and tails, I'm rolling a die and flipping a coin. I'm not flipping a coin twice or flipping 2 coins. So the probability is 0 because I can't get tails twice. Probability of even is 1/2. Probability of odd is 1/2 times heads, which is 1/2, so I get 1/4. Probability that it is not a 3, so that's 5 out of 6 faces on the die. And heads, which is 1/2, so 5/6 times 1/2 gives me 5/12. All right, again, I'm going to link an annotated version down here. It should be on your updated version. And I hope you guys have a great week. Let me know if you need help. Your teachers are here for office hours. The biggest thing is communication. You've got to talk to us and you've got to tell us what's going on. We can't help you if we don't know. And we're not there in person to know what's happening. I know the virus is affecting some families. Things are happening. So please just reach out to us. Let us know. Use the private comments in Google Classroom. That's how I'm trying to communicate with you the most. That way you know exactly what assignment I'm talking about and the links you right back there. If you check your FCPS Gmail, you'll see little notifications, boom, 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 boom. Whenever you get a comment or a grade, use those. It's got a hyperlink that says reply. Click the link and it takes you directly to where I commented or your other teacher commented. I really hope to see you guys again soon. I don't know how digital learning is going to keep moving forward, but we're moving forward. It's bottom line, moving forward. We've got this. I'm here for you. Have a great day.